Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to theCUBE's live coverage of KubeCon CloudNativeCon EU. I'm your host, Rebecca Knight. We're live in Amsterdam. I'm alongside Rob Strechay. Rob, this has been the end of day 2. This has been another terrific day here at KubeCon.
It has flown by, and I think the number of topics and the number of projects that we've been able to dig into today has been fantastic.
Great guests, and we've saved the best for last. So I would like to welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I would like to welcome Wang, the CEO of Akuity. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, so are we. So for those who aren't familiar, tell us a little bit about Akuity, when you were founded, why you were founded, what was the problem you were trying to solve for organizations?
Wow, oh my God, that's a big question. So we are Akuity, so we're providing the enterprise software delivery platform. But what people know more about us is because Argo. So me and my co-founder has been working on the Argo project for 10 years, a decade. So that's actually the beginning of the KubeCon there, so we were there. So we were already the #1 GitOps solution for the Kubernetes deployment. So now our company is kind of trying to commercialize Argo CD, but also adding other capability on top. That's where we are kind of like here, working with all the amazing attendee here, like trying to share what we have here.
So what do you see as you were talking, and you can share some stats you said about the adoption that you've gotten commercially and as well, but when you start to look at GitOps, what is still missing in GitOps, and what is it really from that perspective? How does Kargo factor into that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the GitOps is already solved the problem by us, so kind of like that. Because like Argo CD, by the CNCF survey, they said they already have 67% adoption in the production cluster. That's an amazing number. That's dominant. So right now, like when I'm talking to the people here, I ask them, hey, are you using Argo CD? Very rarely I hear like no. So that's kind of, to me, is the GitOps. Basically, if you're using the Kubernetes, if you're using the Kubernetes in a larger scale, Argo CD is the go-to solution. People know the value, people learn the value, people actually trust it already in the production. So from our perspective, I think we know there's a missing piece on top. Because when we're talking about the GitOps solution or Argo CD, it's focused on the single environment to giving that like a top-notch experience. But what is about the promotion? We are talking about the dev, staging, production, or multiple production. How we glue things together.
Right.
That is the missing piece. That's why we see a lot of opportunities there.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
How does Kargo factor into this?
Exactly, that's why we created Kargo. We actually had this Kargo idea the moment we started Argo CD, add into it. So, however, we are very low on the resources. We actually want to moving everything from the from the private data center to the Kubernetes on AWS for Intuit. It's a big project. So we said, let's focus on what's the most important thing is about Argo CD, the GitOps portion. The promotion idea was there, but we have never had time to implement it. Until when we started Akuity, we say, hey, we have to do this now. This is kind of like an innovation we have to give to the community. So Kargo is focused on the multi-environment promotion and the continuous promotion concept. Is you getting the whatever the software you are building as a Docker image or with the configuration, how does that getting being promoted to the dev, validated in dev, go to the staging, validated in the staging, then go to the multiple production in a very like controlled, with strong governance, with strong visibility. There is no solution out there.
When you are talking to platform and infrastructure teams, what are some of the biggest headaches that they tell you? What's keeping them up at night?
I think #1 is still basically the every increasing demand from the developers for the infrastructure. So you see how many data centers we are building now, right? Like in the Europe side, there are so many like, sovereign cloud consideration, and because AI is real, AI demand is real. Like we see our side, last year, we actually did a 43 million deployment for all our customers. It's 10 times over the 2024. Why? Wow. Because AI is kind of like accelerates the developments now. Like more features being developed, more bugs being fixed, and more things getting deployed to the production. That's like the trend. And there's more infrastructure needs there, like people asking, hey, where's my GPU cluster? Like where do I run my inferencing? Okay, I have this new app, I wipe coded, I need to deploy it because I need to use it for everyone. So that's kind of like ever increasing. So for that purpose, a bigger cluster, many cluster, bigger infrastructure. However, you are not getting more SRE or platform team. So who is kind of like handling the day 2, day 3, day 4 operation of the application, ensure they are running? So that's where we think the AI can help. AI kind of like creating the problem.
But it can also
but
be a
AI
part of the
should be the
solution.
solution to solve the problem also. That's where we are also adding more AI capability on top of our solution to making the platform team and SRE team to be more efficient in the day-to-day life.
Do you see that the SREs, and like you said, I always said that being an SRE is a thankless job, and same thing with the platform, because usually you're only noticed when things go wrong.
That's right.
Are you seeing that, from that perspective, and the fact that continuous deployment is really becoming more and more, we see the adoption continuing, that people are, want to, deploy hourly and versus daily versus
more
weekly.
frequently,
More frequently. When you look at that, do you also see people pushing towards, developing in the trunk versus all these different branches, and that helps with that promotion type thing where you guys are aimed at, or is it still a lot of different branches and that's also part of what you have to manage there as well?
I think it's even worse now.
Oh.
Because like nowadays, like people are using the cloud code or codecs in the agentic way to starting working on the issue. Like the average, like for example, a typical tech lead or senior engineer is like 5 times more efficient now. That means they are working on 5 issues in parallel. It could be from the same branch, or same product. They need multiple branches working together, make sure the CI is running, make sure when they are all done the CI portion, they can go to the production in the more like automated way. That's how I always see is, it's still good for us. Like in the end is what we are defining ourselves is we are becoming more like a foundational. Is okay, you are talking about a single machine operating system, what are you thinking? Linux. You are talking about the cloud operating system, what are you thinking? Kubernetes. What are you talking about when you want to deploy to those clusters, what are you thinking? Right now, it's Argo CD is the answer. So I think we are right in the place. We anticipate more automation are happening, a massive like wave of the things to be deployed to the more infrastructures, more clusters, and we are actually way more important for the future. Yeah.
Well, you talked about the developer who's now simultaneous. You said they're more productive, but they're also simultaneously working on these 5 issues because they're in Cloud Codex. So that sounds very taxing if you are the person in charge of that. Can you talk a little bit about the impact on a developer's day-to-day in terms of their workflow, their individual workflow with Akuity working in the background in Argo?
It's actually a great question because I keep talking with my friends. My friends working at Google, Meta, like big guys. So
the who's who of the technology industry.
So actually, on one side, you feel, oh, there's so much more work. So you feel it's drawing like a one kind of endless thing. But on the other side is, it's kind of shifting of the human in this like code development role. So you are not like writing the code. You are doing more strategic thinking and context connection. So it means their day job is becoming not like writing stare at the screen and writing about the struct, object, the API. They are more thinking a higher level is, okay, here's the architecture. Here's the feature I want to build. How could I break it down into a chewable step and make sure it's getting enough detail and context when I asking fire up the AI agent at night, like it may be coding for 3 hours to get in the feature. It actually get it right, get it in the efficient way. So it's actually more, I would say that more of my friends in the field are more inspiring rather than more tired because they feel, oh, they can do so much now.
That's heartening, that's encouraging to hear.
It's encouraging now, yeah.
And do you see that has the cognitive load just increased significantly? Because like you said, you go between these environments now and you have to understand what has broken and what hasn't broken. And so maybe you're using AI to understand that and try to figure out and troubleshoot it when you've already used AI to build it. So you are getting to things faster, but sometimes that's good and bad from the cognitive load perspective.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Basically, there are too many things you need to worry about it. That's why I think we actually thinking that's we need to address. So what we are doing here, for example, in our product, we're building this like Akuity intelligence, is actually kind of like the purpose-built AI agent for those like continuous delivery solution. And it's actually observe your infrastructure in real time, means you don't need to do it. Let AI do it. Then it actually also like trying to handling the instant according to the runbook written by the human as the common language by your team. So it's like more automated. So in the end, it's also taking the corrective action autonomously. So it means sure, as the human, I think you will feel like more boring, like if I'm doing more like repeatable things. Oh, it's broken. For the same reason it's broken. For the same reason it's broken. That's kind of like not interesting. But engineer as myself, I like challenging work. I like something new. For the oldest thing, I write in the runbook. And the AI know exactly when the problem happened, it will do the auto-remediation. For the new problem, I understand I need kind of like doing more deep diving. That's my kind of like my day job. But for those like boring stuff, AI can do it, for sure.
But you do still need the human in the loop, too.
I totally think so, because we are run a multi-billion business sometimes in our platform. Production is no joke, right? I work at Intuit. Like about 3-4 weeks later, that's our tax due date. Every 10 minutes is $10 million for Intuit. So we cannot afford any outage at that time. So I think the humans still need it because AI can hallucinating. That's not the main problem it does. But AI can come up with very random ideas. Sometimes you don't like. So we do want the human in the loop to write in the runbook for us. Means you want to be very specific. And you want the outcome to be very predictable. You don't want the AI to do some random stuff. More like, hey, here's the symptom. Here's the solution to address it. And you want that. That's why we're thinking the human still play tremendous value in this AI era.
So you see that creating those run books, it's like, hey, if I'm going to do it once, I might as well then create the run book so that the next time it has to happen, I don't have to be involved, almost like from a perspective, what you would do if you were an SRE and you were handing over to another SRE for the next shift.
Like a junior engineer, like for simple stuff, then they can handle it. Yeah.
And do you see that that style has been embraced? That people are like, yes, I'm willing to let it go and do these things for me.
I do think it's changing. I think it's like a SRE portion, like we are looking about the SDLC space, right? Coding, challenge, everyone's starting like changing. I think it's like moving, shifting to the right side more. Security, about observability, about CI/CD. I think those are kind of like just catching up.
Yeah.
You know, you never know about in another month what will happen.
Well,
like AI is like changing every day.
Indeed it is, but you are also seeing a lot of traction with enterprise customers. Can you talk a little bit about what you're seeing for adoption and some data you have on that?
Yeah, we have over like 100 enterprise customers now, and in the last 12 months, our customer number actually tripled, so which is amazing, and with really good revenue, with really good expansion. I do thinking we are benefits from this AI era. Like CoreWeave publicly is our biggest customer. You know, their revenues keep growing, and they have many, many big guys, and they're using us actually doing the customer onboarding. So indirectly, we are exposed to all the AI companies now. So they kind of like see us. They're using Kubernetes, they're using CoreWeave, they're actually indirectly also using us. That's kind of give us a lot of exposure and a lot of growth opportunity. But our customer is coming from all the verticals, like financial industry, healthcare, like entertainment industry, gaming, everywhere. So
what? So why do those industries that you're seeing adopting your product come to you? Is it they're more mature in the way that they've handled things already, they have their runbooks built, or is it, hey, they know they have this problem and they can't hire people they can't hire their way out of it at this point?
So they just looking for the best breed solution for the Kubernetes deployment. So we are, that's it. So it's not about a particular industry, it's about when they are adopting the Kubernetes in a large scale, so we are the solution.
Yeah. So.
All right, closing us out, what's next for Akuity in your journey, and what will we be talking about this time next year in Barcelona?
I do think our cargo is getting way and way more popular now. Like here, we see a lot of people very interested, and someone is already using in production. I think as the generic promotion engine, I think we'll see way more traction next year, and which already kind of translate to our customer revenue now. Like people like the solution, see it's really solving their problem. I do think that momentum will be continue. AI portion, to be honest, I feel it will be ubiquitous. So because it's embedded in our system, it's kind of like everyone will have AI, everyone have great experience. I feel we will still talking a lot about the AI, but in the end, AI will be everywhere.
Famous words. Okay, yeah. Words to live by. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on the show, Hong.
Thank you. Have having me.
That wraps up day 2 of KubeCon CloudNativeCon EU. I'm Rebecca Knight for Rob Strechay. We will catch you tomorrow. You're watching theCUBE, the leader in enterprise tech news and analysis.